Sada from Poison Rock, and I have to give a welcome back to, let's say, the second, the third member of Poison Rock, Kjell Braaten. How are you?
Hi everyone, it's good to be back.
Like, oh yes, let's say that everyone knows your path with Poison Rock since Blota, let's say for me, since Blota, everyone
Yeah.
knows Braaten and Kjell Braaten. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, of course, because there has been an oscillator, there has been a lot of things since we started the first time. And of course,
Yeah.
now with the last interview, we mention sometimes about this UNESCO project because it's a bigger than just some song releases. But first, I want to ask you, how is going with like you said, you performed before 2 shows. How is going
Yeah.
with who you are performing? Because sure.
No, yeah. No, now I'm on tour with the project Vibe Miguela. It's a Sami project that travels. It's a state project in Norway that they hire artists to travel schools and teach children about different things through art and culture.
Okay.
So we are calling for primary school children, and we're having a Sami show with the information, storytelling, a little bit of language, yoik, and music, and we do that. So
And when it
yeah,
comes
I've
to
been asked around
performing,
with
if
regular
for
this
kids,
year.
if for kids the performing,
Yeah, we go to their schools and we have a 45 minutes show where we teach them about Sami culture through performing, storytelling, music, singing, and such. It's a very good
and
project.
the kids, I think they are curious about what's going on. Like there are something they are more mainly curious. You're not like throughout this journey, but I'm the most curious about the kids.
Yeah, and I think that I mean, like for me, I've been so much into that Viking Age thing for so
Yeah.
many years, been teaching about Viking music and such, and preserve the Viking culture, which haven't, I mean, the Viking culture died 1,000 years ago, you know. We will
Yeah,
never be able to bring that back. But the Sami culture is still here. It's still alive.
it's important.
It
Yes,
managed to
culture is
survive the very, very hard efforts that the church and the government made to take them
yeah.
down and erase
Right.
them. But they did survive, and I think it's important to, I mean, for my part, yeah, I'm all in about teaching about Viking Age and such, but it's more important to preserve those cultures
Alive, yeah.
still here.
Like the
So
Inuit or the Native American, for example. Yeah. Because there is
exactly.
Inuit still alive as well, like in Alaska and all the Native American, let's say all the indigenous tribe, the population that the folklore that still are there, like even in Australia, the New Zealand, there's all over. So what we're doing with the Sami culture is important, and how, because of course going throughout, I don't know, Norway and other country, talking about you, because it's like I was speaking before, yes, last week, yes, with a band called Noduin from Finland. They
Mhm.
talk about their folklore, they're trying to, preserve that because they were always been good, Finland to preserve their own history. How do you see that you think that this Sami project could have like kind of an expansion in other countries too? I mean,
We we've been talking about it,
yeah,
and maybe we will. But we've been like this year, we've been traveling so much in Norway with this. I just think we had 7 weeks on tour this spring, and we had 5 this autumn,
okay.
only with
Hi,
this
Jim
project.
Hetfield. Hi, Jim
Yeah.
Hetfield.
So it's been a lot, and all of us have other projects too,
So
and
my knowledge is not easy. I mean, like if you should combine all together, schedule to travel, and of course,
yeah.
like because we are speaking about others. If you, of course, want to say who is involved, because it's all about music, or it's about there are as well, like I don't know, culture, literature, or I don't know.
It's about the culture itself, because
Yeah,
I mean, the Sami people lives among us up north in Norway, but so many children down south don't even know about them. You know, they maybe may have seen someone in a Sami costume yoiking on the Eurovision Song Contest, but they don't know really anything about this culture.
yeah,
So we try to show them a bit of the beauty of the Sami culture, and because there's been in Norway, there's been this and also Finland, Sweden. The
Yeah.
Sami people they live across border, even also into Russia, and so many people are looking down at the Sami culture, especially up north, because it's a different culture, and people have a tendency of being afraid of other cultures than their own, and things they don't know scares them, and therefore they, instead of being curious about them, about this, they make this fence around themselves and turns it into a fight rather than curiosity.
Yeah.
I mean, in Norway, we have people up north in the Sami territories. The road signs would be both in Norwegian and Sami language, but you have Norwegians traveling around up there shooting at the Sami signs, you know?
That's preserving, because if any culture like the Sami culture, because we're speaking about that, it's been able to preserve their own existence, because it's a normal, it's a not, I mean, like there is a Italian, Sicilian, is a little bit, I think it's part of who we are. You know, if people go, they are scared about something that a culture is always, it's the society belief to be closed and to get used to what they know. But Islamic culture is something that people know too, for example, back a long time ago. So they closed for, I think, we said the expansion of Christianism, the expansion of the Western society, that made everything close. So everyone that was left outside, now it's like the unknown world. It's the unknown world, but it's good that you're doing these, even if I think maybe people can say, oh, I'm not interested, but especially kids, they are what it's gonna be tomorrow, maybe bringing more, let's say, highlight to the like Sami culture, like other cultures, and it's important because
Exactly.
yeah, if
And also, there's been so many people who's been talking about the downsides of this, the way they've been treated, the way I mean, took their religion away, we burned their drums, we did all this, yeah, but why keep on, why bring that thing on? Why can't we just leave all of that behind and start talking about the beautiful things, and start to bound up again? So yeah, we do mention that all until recent year, they did take the children from the parents, placing them in schools far away because they wanted them to become Norwegians.
Yeah.
And this is pretty recent. It's not long ago even, and we mention this, but we don't want to throw more gasoline to that fire. We'd rather try to show the kids the beauty of the Sami culture, the beautiful stories.
In fact there are some, because I think they have like as well like a folklore stories that they are similar to the old Norwegian stories, like for example culture, myth, or they have a different, like for example in Finland there is another word.
Yeah, the Sami traditions are very different from the Norwegian traditions. I mean, the Sami are there are different Sami cultures also, but they are people who until nowadays they do live in houses, but they did live in tents up there, and they did travel. They lived one place in winter, another place in summer. They're nomads.
Nomads, yeah, exactly.
So they're very different from the general Norwegian society, really. And their religion is also kind of shamanic religion. I mean, they use their drums for healing. They had the shamans who could go in trance with the drum to go into the spirit world, to bring the bad spirit out of your body when you were sick. So it's very different.
It's very, that is more more, not more ritualistic, more and close to the rawest part of the.
It's very animistic.
Yeah,
and it's very close to nature.
Yeah, and this because of course getting closer with this culture with this with the Sami culture a little bit brings some influence in you, like because of course I don't know.
Sami music has been a huge influence on my music since early 90s. The first time I heard Mari Boine, she's been one of the
Yeah.
main sources of inspiration for me in my entire career. And what she's been doing also, I mean, we probably wouldn't have done what we do if not for her. I mean, Mari Boine was the person, she's of course the musician, but she was also, as far as I know, the person who actually started the first ever official community that worked for raising rights for indigenous people worldwide. That was Mari Boine.
That's amazing. I mean, I didn't expect that, but it's beautiful. I mean, so it's apart from being an amazing and influential musician, it has been an influential woman for the culture
Yes.
and the society.
She's been on the barriers fighting with the claws and you know, since the 80s.
Oh my gosh, I want to interview her now. I want to know more about her
She's
past.
yeah, she's much more interesting than any other in this part of the musical world
Yeah.
that I'm part of. I mean, none of us would have done what we do if not for her. And I mean, even if you look at it in a broader way, I mean, even those Native American black metal bands and such, it wouldn't have been possible if not for Mari Boine. You
Because
know,
she gave the freedom to do that.
yes,
Yeah.
she started the first organization that worked to actually give them rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many things, and yeah, it's a kind of interesting to see that this point of view, because even if I don't want to say like confused, if even if in the with Christian or Christopher or Columbus, you know, they got really a bad experience from the Western world, because they've been, and really to even to still today, even with the kids who were taken by the school, even in the 50s, selling for $10 and put into school, and they're funding massing graves of indigenous kids in Canada.
Yeah.
What today they
The same here with the Sami, you know.
yeah, it's terrible. What today they have, for example, I cite a friend of mine that is in Canada. He has a doom metal band. He's a 25 years old. He's young. He's going touring, spreading his word, being a rioter. People like him can do this publicly without maybe being, even arrested, because you can do that for person maybe like you said, for Mary Boine, because she helped to have more free word, let's say.
Yeah.
So it's important to say that, yeah, we quote unquote made a mistake back in then, but she gave we try to made up for our mistake in the past. That's important what you mentioned.
Let's leave the battle behind and create something new, you know.
Exactly, because if it's always resentment, we always stay like the same. We doesn't change. No, and then it is important what you said, and I really understand, and I understand it, and see how is it, because most people from the especially United States, like you mentioned, they have these. If they're doing that, is because of what was allowed to fight here in Europe, at least in the Scandinavian Europe. But because many of them as well are still today writing song against us.
Yeah. I
And
think it's very important to fight for your rights. I think it's very stupid and very silly to do it in a violent way, because that will only make it worse.
Yeah, we have to just we have music, we have poetry, we have paintings, we have our voice, we have many beautiful things to how to explain. That's why I like the job that this guy is doing, just going in the school, giving free live show to indigenous kids like 16, 15. That's good. Speaking out in the music, like, because it stays there. And you can understand, because they don't care about money, just doing that because they want to just see those kids happy, those kids happy.
Yeah.
A teenager
I
happy.
do understand why people get desperate though, but I don't think that those riots and such, I don't think that is the way to do it. It's like we've had this situation in Norway the last couple of years. There's been a lot of this going on, like back in the days when Marit in Vaimugela was young. They tried to put all of her village underwater because we needed electrics down south. So of course we would dam up and it was just a Sami city anyway, so we didn't need that. So they wanted to dam it all up and make a electric producing thing there up there, you know. And now they want to take to the territories of, because many Sami people still trying to make a living from reindeer, you know, which is their tradition. And then the government wants to take big areas of the reindeer areas and make it into to windmill areas, you know, which will stress those animals up a lot, and it'll make, you know, so, and they're pushing on with this. So we have had quite a few absolutely lovely young Sami group of young Sami people who's been actually training themselves to the government building in Oslo, blocking the doors and such. The last couple of years, of course, they've been taken out by police and such, and they're all put to trial for it. And there's a lot of us who has been supporting them economically, like artists, like I did, released a song where all the money from the song went into to their bank account to help them through to help them fight in court, you know, and such. So we have those battles, but they're not violent.
No. It's not like you know, isn't physical violence or mental violence. It's just standing. No.
Yeah, it's a very, I mean, going into a government building and training yourself up is a very clear.
But it's not violence. It's just it's a public soil. I'm here. Just can you see me now? It's just the last scream of saying I'm here. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Exactly.
Because many, especially when this has been done, especially for the youngest people, like kids, teenager, it's even stronger. The cry for help, let's say, cry, because I quote a song of a glam band, the cry for freedom. It's a cry for freedom. They stand there, and they are not it's not like when there was the Capitol Hill things, when they smashed all you know, New York, whatever. That was violent. Or sometimes when happen here in Italy, in Rome, there are violent from the extreme right. Yes, really violent. Here we are talking about something that has nothing to do with politics, something that has nothing to do with just keeping what has been since the beginning still today alive. Because like you said, we had in Sicily, I don't know, Normans, we had Arabs, but that is gone. If, like, for example, people here are talking about I don't know, Arabic song, for example, or Arabic things, but then hey, wait, we have our Sicilian culture, let's not forget it, or just try people to impose, you know, Italian culture.
Yeah.
Example, tomorrow it's the 21st, the 1st or the 2nd of November, you know, it's for someone it's a Samhain. We have our tradition. We have dolls made of sugar for baby. We have our witch, which is the Befana on Christmas. We have our tradition. That's for the kids. So that's how I was grew up, for example, because it's really folkloristic between Romans, you know, all these different people that we had. And we keep it alive because, of course, we are really in an island, so we can. But for older culture like Sami, that you, like you said, you mentioned the shamanic side, and what I want to explain, because you mentioned because they through the Russian. What once explained me Anatoly from Netland, that the shamanic native, especially the native indigenous from United States and Alaska, they come from the Sami. They travel throughout the Russia in America. So all because I asked him, what is the difference between American shamanism, North? And he said, nothing. It all came from Siberia. Went throughout,
Yeah, so, and the recent discovery is discover that some of it may also come through the oceans in the south, but a lot of that has come from the north, because I mean to travel between continents up north isn't really that difficult.
No,
you know, and back then it was much easier.
Yeah, the road really open. No one in the land, just can keep on going.
Yeah, and there's not so much of water areas. I mean, back even when the ice was still there, you could just walk from continent to continent. So it was very easy to.
Yes,
Yeah.
and thanks. And of course, apart the cultural side and the historical side as well. Did you see that, for example, in the Sami culture, there are, that's my curiosity, there are folkloristic instrument different that we knew. Maybe we are different from that we know.
They don't have many instruments. They
Okay,
have the runebomme, the Sami drum, which
okay,
is a bit different from the drums we have. They're absolutely beautiful. Um, but they have the yoik, the singing.
okay, yeah. This is
Yeah,
different.
and that's very special for the Sami community. It can remind somewhat about like some Native American singing, but it's still
Okay,
very different.
there are different, of course, of course.
Yeah.
So I
Um,
mean that's important, and of course there is a way to see these some of these performance for people because of let's say for example I'm in Sicily, if someone is in Sardinia, someone is I don't know in Croatia, I don't know. I would like really something even like I don't want to say like CD or music, but to some video to see there is gonna be is online or something because it's
there
important.
are some videos if you search for Sami yoik, you will find stuff on YouTube and
Okay,
such. Or you can just play Mariboina's music. There's a lot of
okay.
yoik in her music.
Okay, that's a good, yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
And
I
but
like the very famous song Hey yo lo yo lo lo yo lo ya hey yo lo yo lo lo yo la hey yo lo yo. You know
okay,
that's yoik. You know
yeah,
I'm not a yoiker, but
yeah, yeah,
many
yeah.
of the
I remember from one of your song in Blota. This I
yeah
remember that.
it's inspired by
Yeah.
both Native American singing and Sami yoik the that song actually. But
Okay,
yeah, it's if you go to Mariboine when she goes into these hey lolly kind of things that's yoik.
okay, okay. But just because it would be beautiful if it maybe one day with this project that you're it has a name. You have a name for the this. It's just Sami project. It has a specific name.
It's a vibe Mugella. That's Sami, and it means the language of the heart.
Language of the art. Maybe I don't know, seeing one day something that can be even a book or something that could be spread throughout the world. Did you think about it to do something
Yeah,
physical?
we've been thinking. Another thing with the project is that you know I'm the kid in the project. The ladies are in their 60s, almost 70s at this point. So of course we won't be able to travel that much with this
Ah, okay.
project. We're
Yeah, of
probably
course.
gonna focus more here. But we've been talking about trying to find a way to
Yeah,
make some of it into an album so
yeah.
people can at least
I think
hear
so.
some of it.
Yeah,
But we will have to figure out how to do it because much of it is storytelling, and we can't put
yeah.
the whole story to a CD. Of course, it won't be the same.
But
So we will have to figure out how to do it
you
first.
can try one. You can make one try and release one thing and see what happens. You could do one
Yeah,
thing like
but again, some of the songs are available in very different versions because Marit has her own project,
okay.
and it's yeah, it's got the Maret,
More.
and you can find some of her a couple of the songs. You can find she has two different Spotify's, so it's Marit Hetta and the band Maret, which is traveling with. So there's some of her songs. You can also hear her yoiking on the song Store
Okay.
Bjørn from my
You are the
album
one
Ferd.
introducing me always people to interview like Annette Haga.
Yeah, yeah, no, because on Ferd there is this song called Store Bjørn, which is it's so many things. Store Bjørn means the big bear, so it
Yeah,
refers to the constellation, and it also refers to a Norwegian mountain by the same name, and the animal, which is also
yeah, yeah,
as animal. Like in the some of the Sami traditions, you have your own kind of yoik, which is called bear yoik, bjørnjoik,
yeah.
more in Sweden than here really. So Marit made the Berioik for that song for me and performed it on the album.
That's that's beautiful, and I like these things. Like I said, it's important keeping I don't want the culture, the roots, the memories there alive, and because this, like you said at the beginning, these culture are alive it's normal. It's not like I said, Viking culture is that, Babylonian is that, Sumerian are that. These are living culture, and this is
Yeah.
important. Like this, there is the Inuit. There are other beautiful culture, and I think that the only thing that we could say to, especially to the people that maybe are not think always about other Assyrian, whatever other type of Romans. No, just focus on what is now, new now, today.
Yeah.
It's
I
beautiful
think
part of history.
I think it's very interesting to study the old
Yeah,
ancient
of course.
world, and I find it interesting to see how the world and how cultures have
Yeah.
evolved, and to understand how people work. But we can't preserve something
Mhm.
who's not there. You know,
Exactly.
we can preserve artifacts, we can preserve findings and knowledge, yes,
Yeah.
but there are quite a few cultures who's still here, you know,
And they can tell
and
their own
so
story.
those cultures are fading out.
Yeah, exactly. And like we have for other culture, we don't have people that can tell about their own sources, about their own histories, because we don't have that culture anymore. So what we have is those artifact. It could be just I don't know, paper, poems, whatsoever. But we have those sources. For other culture like Sami, we have people that can confirm and
Yeah,
tell the story for how it was and how it is. So
at
not
least some
wrong.
of it, at least some of it, because
Yeah, of course.
the whole Sami culture were almost completely wiped out. And most
Always.
Sami people, they are very, very Christian people, and many of the Sami people today are very negative towards the old Sami tradition,
Yes.
and some of them are very hardcore against
Yeah.
this.
But that's,
Like even Mari Boine grew up in a family where yoik were seen as the devil's
oh,
tool, you know. So that is another. It's like it's 25, 6 years ago or something. I was playing at an amazing festival. It's called the Riddu Riddu.
mhm.
It's up in the northern part of Norway, and it's the world's biggest indigenous peoples cultural festival, actually. Um, but it's made by Sami people. And while we were there performing with indigenous people from all over the
Yeah.
world, but of course a majority of Sami people,
Yeah.
many of the local people were sitting in their houses with like wooden fences on their outside their windows,
I know.
praying for us to go away. You know.
Yeah, the Inquisition of the Northern Inquisition. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So we have a very long way to go, and for me, I think that brings me back to that. As long as we keep throwing gasoline to that fire, we will never go past this
no,
point. We
no,
need to stop keeping that fire burning and start to find a way to go past it and leave
yeah,
it behind us.
yeah,
Even though it, of course, hurts a lot to those people who's been growing up with this, you know.
of
Of
course.
course it hurts, but it's
Sometimes they
important
have to
to
let
try
go.
to go past and as humans, evolve beyond this point.
Yeah. But sometimes, like we said, sometimes you have to let go. You have to let go.
Yeah.
You have not holding anymore into that, but to let go. And of
Yeah,
course,
and that's some of
yeah.
the things that I find so interesting with the Lithuanian project.
Yeah, exactly. I was wanted to go there really because that's beautiful. You made a beautiful passage with the scuba because now there is the last week is a serendipitous meeting. I thought that it was
Yeah.
something that was like that is going for over here now. It's an UNESCO
Mhm.
project and it's beautiful because they're
Yeah,
the Sauritanian. Can I do it? Because I don't know the correct pronunciation.
sutartines or something like
Sutartine.
that.
Sutartine.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
how's it going? I mean, it's because the UNESCO project is important. It's always something that, like I said, it's a preserving historical and cultural folklore or anthropologistic thing. It's important.
I think actually the sutartines one was one of the earlier
Oh,
music traditions that ended up on the UNESCO list.
wow.
Um, yeah, and I'm so happy that I was invited into the project. The project didn't go as planned for, because we had it all planned out, and we had foundings and what we really wanted, because the ladies in Stuba, which is a community house actually. They're a group of ladies from a small village in Lithuania that gathered together with an interest of bringing this sutartines tradition back to the people again. And through another friend of mine who's doing an amazing festival in Lithuania, because we met a few years back in Norway before this, so they wanted to reach out and make workshops around in the rural areas of Lithuania to try to teach this to the people. And then they were searching for someone who could help them to reach out to a younger audience. And Kestiges told them about me and what I was doing with the Viking thing back in Norway and such. So they contacted me, and we got some foundings, and the project was aimed to go on in Lithuania, and I was supposed to go there. And first off, they wanted me to be part of a big workshop, because they have some private cultural houses around in Lithuania. They don't have any official ones because the government can't afford it. They're really poor.
Of course.
But they wanted to bring some of those teachers together and have a big workshop where I would be part of this and talk to them about how to reach the younger generations. But then the pandemic hit.
What happened then?
Couldn't proceed with the project.
And it started again like last year, I think.
No, just after the pandemic, the ladies from Stuba managed to get some foundings, but we couldn't proceed with what we were originally planning. So they managed to get themselves. They teamed up with Skaidra, which is the former fourth singer in the opera in Lithuania. And they brought her and Zivil, which is a painter, a visual
illustrator of the art.
So they came to Norway, and they were borrowing the only Lithuanian community house in Norway, which is in a small village not so far from Stavanger. And I had no idea what I was going to do, so I just jumped in my car and I drove there. I hadn't met any of them. I didn't know anything about the culture we were to work with or anything. And I just jumped in my car and I met up with them, and we had an absolutely amazing week in that house. So they taught me a lot about sutartines. We were working on trying to explore some landscapes where I were doing my Nordic instruments, and we made something together. We had some workshops with local Lithuanians, and we made it into a concert where we had several Lithuanian local groups and choirs doing performances, and we had our thing together. I sang a couple of mine Skaldic songs and so on, and then we went to Bergen and we did the same. And then the last day we had a few hours, like 4 hours or something available. So we just jumped into a bus and my car and we just drove to my house. And I threw up whatever I had laying around of microphones, like we were singing into guitar microphones and whatever we had available.
It's a great
in my living room.
Punk version of folk music.
Exactly. So we just, because I thought that this is something special, we need to at least document this thing, you know. And it took a lot of work to make that into something that was sounding presentable.
But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I listen even now. It was on my background. It's here. So it's beautiful.
Which eventually turned into the album we finally managed to release now on Monday.
So the album is already out. It's all completely out, and people can completely listen. And I want to ask about how, as you mentioned, sutartines. It's part of this UNESCO. It's a part of UNESCO. And what about many them? For what you can explain the culture, because I don't think it's too much. It's similar to the Lithuanian, or is different in some aspect, I think.
So the sutartines is a musical tradition, really. It's
Okay.
a singing tradition from Lithuania. Um, and well, Lithuania haven't always been Lithuania. They've been under others, and their culture has been washed out as many other cultures. So they wanted to try to bring this back, because these ladies met up and they started to sing the sutartines of their own interest, and they found so much healing and such in it. So they started to do some workshops and invite people into their project.
Mm.
They also made the stuba, which is a communal house that they bought an old house in the village they live, and they together as a village they made it, they fixed it up and made it into a usable house,
Oh, wow.
a community house, the stuba, where they meet up, and they do a lot of things. They're hosting other people, artists who come to Lithuania that need a place to stay for a few days. They can come there and live there for free. And they will take care of you. But they also do a lot of the sutartines singing at least once a month, where anyone can just come in and join. And these things, do a lot of project with the children and youngsters, and they
Yeah,
do a lot for the local community. It's really beautiful to see.
yeah. And as the
Uh,
album being out now, of course, it's available and I think in all the
Yeah,
platforms.
and you can stream it anywhere. If you want, you could also go to Bandcamp, and for
Yeah,
those who actually choose to go in and buy the album, which is very affordable, you will also get a couple of bonus things, like a few teasers and a little live video recording of us
that's
doing
great.
a concert for one of the songs, and a little bit like some extras for those who actually do
Yeah, that's
that.
important. Yeah, because that's how it's important to remember always the support of people come from abroad, because it's each you're an independent artist. You're not like major label founding. These people are independents too. They try to keep their own culture to spread it, like as well. The Sami project is not that there is a, like a big government founding. It's all
No, there's no such
exactly.
thing. And in Lithuania, there's no big government funding on anything, because they can't afford it. Even a lot of the schools in Lithuania are private, because the official schools are falling to pieces.
Yeah.
It's uh, it's partly sad to see it, but it's also amazing for me to come to Lithuania and to see how those communal forces is still alive there. Like some of the ladies in Stuba is working on a local Waldorf school, where they're actually, again, what they did was that those who wanted to work there as teachers, and the parents or those who wanted their kids to go there, they got together and they founded money, and they bought an old school which was bombed to pieces during the war. And together they're still working on the project, but they're managed to restore enough of it to make it a school for preschoolers to the time where we go to the university. And it's the most amazing school I've been to. All the rooms are different forms of sensing rooms,
Wow.
with different amazing. They have had the most amazing artists to make the rooms, and it's the Waldorf thinking. So it's all about learning through doing, and learning through singing and dancing, and it's sensing things. And
Yeah.
it's so amazing to see how they managed to make that. And I
Yeah.
was lucky to do one of my skaldic shows, lectures on ancient
Okay.
music in that school, actually. Uh, but also, it's amazing to see how they actually managed to implement these ancient traditions back into their community. Because even they were part of the big union
Yeah.
that we don't need to go too much into that.
Yeah, of course.
Even their churches were taken down, or they weren't taken down, but they were emptied and used for storage spaces.
Uh,
Yeah, so when they finally got back again to their own, to be their own nation again, they rebuild the churches, and like in the little village where this lady is, you see this several places. In that village, they restored the church, and a few hundred meters from the church, there's this hill, small hill, and on top of that hill, you can go and you can see all the ancient gods statues, you
Wow.
know,
Yeah,
that
this
that they put up. And they still have these traditions. When you walk in the park in the cities, you can all of a sudden you find this big wooden, amazingly shaped version of because they have their own thunder god,
of course.
you know. And
Yeah.
these traditions is still accepted and alive. And like when I was visiting the ladies in Stuba and staying there for a few days, they brought me they wanted to show me this
Yeah.
place, and this is for me in the society where I'm living, because we have like Midgard's blood and all of these
Yeah,
things,
exactly.
people there to feel like a tribe and all of that, and of course, yeah, that's great. But
Yeah.
then what they did was that they took me to a place we had to drive for a while, and then we parked up in some pathway somewhere, and we walked for a little bit, and then they were like, "Yeah, but now you need to take off your shoes and socks because we need to wash our feet in the river." And okay, so we did that, and I couldn't put my shoes or socks back up, so I had to go barefoot with them
Yeah.
and climb pretty steep, high, muddy mountain and then we came to their sacred place where they gather for like for their versions of bloods, like
Yeah.
uh, and up on that mountain where you had to go all the way. You have to clean your feet and you have to
Yeah.
walk all that barefoot to go up there, and there
It's
they
kind
would
of
meet up
respect.
and have,
Yeah.
yeah, and have their gatherings, the communal celebrations of spring and these things.
That's, you see, this is what keeps these things beautiful, is because they are clean. They are preserved for themselves. Like it's beautiful when they you have all the access for everyone, but when it's so small and few people can have access to it because maybe they find it, I don't know, throughout, I don't know, one interview, maybe from a friend or because but from out of nowhere, you
Yeah.
see something. These things are beautiful because they are them. They're sacred places. Their own. I don't want to say it because people, when you mention rituals, is always think about the same things, but their own folklore and belief, what they do. There's a all the world has this, and I think you know when you if you go in every part of the world, you end up to a 20,000 project. Because
Yep.
if you go, I don't know, somewhere lost in, I don't know, for example, in Spain, and there is a small community with ancient instrument and school, that is you. That is you. If people
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. I'd probably end up there, yes.
but because that's who you are, because this is who you, it's learning and teaching.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and you show that there is a never an ending into learning and teaching. And since start, okay, maybe like but not even at the beginning with your like the first before, even before Blood, before even the early songs that you released, there were never Viking music. There was a lot of good. That's what I trust. I start to listen. I make listen to the people. You had other influences because of traveling through the eastern part of the world. You gather a lot of different sound in the music, and I think even this collaboration, maybe in future your own future album or project, full length, but your own solo music. There will be also maybe some influences from the Sami, from Lithuanian, because you bring this with you now, and
yeah.
even more maybe
There's
than the,
there's a lot of these things in my music. I mean, even if you go back to, yeah, okay, it's not that recent anymore, but it's still one of the recent albums, Fard, which is, we've been talking about that before, but that's all what Fard is about. I'm looking it as a Nordic perspective on where did those Vikings go, or
yeah,
not even Vikings, even before the Vikings they did that, and where did he go, and what did they bring back from there, which is the concept of the album, where I bring a lot of the music from different parts of the world. Music have been interesting because before I went all in with and also during the period where I've been into the Viking Age music, like
yeah,
those last 25 years. But even before that, I was working a lot with like world music and ancient traditional music from around the globe.
Yeah.
And I've been also working a lot with that in other projects, like not like releasing recording
Yeah,
projects,
that's
but
exactly.
working with an integrational project for young people from around the world through music and dance and all of these things. So I've been always been
Exactly.
working with world music.
That's why the way how you work with music, it reminds me how I don't know if you know him, Estas is a guitarist. He works
Mhm.
with music. He's a from I think Ukraine. Lived in Jerusalem. He's a just traveler. Doesn't want to say nomad, but just traveler. Just play
Yeah,
music. You can hear from the South American, so flamenco, those from the gypsy, from
yeah,
classical, all the everything. And the beautiful things about this person like Stas Tone is that he with some of his song, because of his personal struggle, he made he connect with other people with different type of culture, and they make workshop for healing people and or teaching people or for I don't know yoga session, anything that is for healing and for teaching, it's there. And what the beautiful things that he does, because he could do even I don't know, like playing in big arenas. And no, he said, there is my album, it's there,
yeah.
pay what you want to pay, because he didn't get nothing. Just
No,
even if you go to a life, no, it's just for helping others. That so I see, this type of gathering influences with the
yeah.
traveling, like he has it, like as well in your way of perceiving and composing music. It's not like you are there and you do that. You just travel, meet
Yeah.
people, and take influences. So I think when someone asks you where are your main influences, you can say the world. You say because that's
Yeah,
what I said.
yeah,
Is that it's the world music.
it's world music.
Yeah,
That's what it is at the end.
yes,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
I have to send you
Because,
something from
and
Sis.
also I've been talking so much about this the recent year because it's all this talk about Viking music and so
Yeah,
but there
yeah,
is no such thing as Viking music and there will never be such thing as Viking music and let's just you know
yeah.
everything we do which is Viking inspired. It's not Viking inspired.
Yeah.
It's inspired by what our ideas about what Viking Age music would be. It
Yeah.
had most of the music today called Viking music has absolutely nothing to do with Viking Age
Yeah.
music. It wouldn't sound anything even
Like,
close to
yeah.
what Viking music
Just
would
yeah,
do.
exactly. Just to quote Espen Winter, some of those instruments that today are played by people who say we make Viking music, they were never existed during Viking era. So
No, exactly. Like the Tagelharpa, like
yeah,
that a lot of Viking bands play. It wasn't, they didn't have that. That's later. That came in the
people,
1200.
yeah,
You know, the Kravik lyre, which everybody plays, has nothing to do. Yeah, they had lyre, but the
yeah.
Kravik lyre is a much more advanced instrument, and it's from the 1600. You know,
Okay, so that because the lyre was mainly from at least from my
yeah. The lyres have been for thousands of years,
yeah
like all the
yeah
back to they're all back to Ur.
yeah
Uh,
yeah
but and they did have lyres in Scandinavia at Viking Age, quite a few of them, but they were much simpler than the Kravik lyre.
yeah of
So
course.
I love the Kravik lyre and I play it a lot, but I never claimed it to be a Viking instrument. I do play
Yeah.
other instruments, lyres from Germany and England, amongst others, which are dated pre-Viking.
Okay, you see, so it's a pre later and not
Yeah, I don't happen to have some more. I have the Sutton Hoo and the Trossingen, which is both 600s, which is before what we would call Viking Age today.
yeah
Um, but there are lyres from Viking Age, but it's just that I fell in love with these instruments and I chose to keep to using them. Uh, and for me, it's not that important really with because yeah, I've been teaching about Viking Age music or whatever it would be for so long now, and to me, it's like I'm past that being ultra authentic thing,
yeah just
because what I learned from studying this for so long is that there is no such thing.
yeah, yeah, of course. And but like I said, that this project that you're focusing like at the moment, talking
Yeah,
about what is the
yeah,
next
I'm sorry. Let's go back to that.
culture, it's beautiful because that's what I think it's at the moment, in this moment in time. I don't know what in which period we will be called in 200 years by now, this historical period. I think many people are kind of looking more for authenticity, like for more like ourselves. So our roots, our origin, and mainly those people still today, like you said, like the Sami culture, all those sutartines just still today preserved. Because I think everywhere, like I was in Spain, in Ireland, everywhere there could be people preserving their own, like tradition. And why not bring, maybe this could be also influential, influence to those, even, I don't know, even three kids, no, three young kids just playing. Oh, we are from, we have our folkloristic music played with the northern instrument, which is the, I don't know the name. Yeah, that is from here, but apparently came from France, Norman, but apparently came from North. So you see, but apparently it's Arabic. It's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, the jaw harp is probably very. It might actually be origin from the areas around Vietnam, actually.
Because I don't know how it was here, because we had, like I told you, we had from Greek and Romans, but we had Arabs and Normans and Spanish people, so French people, so somehow it's Arab here. And most of our folkloristic music is made by these, that we call it marranzano in Sicilian. And you have all of this folkloristic music, and you see sometimes we have an amazing musician, like we have, for example, our Mary Boine. There was an activist when I'm speaking about gigantic women played folkloristic music. Who knows, maybe kids, instead of doing Viking metal or just metal, whatever, or pop, they can say, wait, I like those folk music. I that's me. I want to put our storytelling in our language outside, even if it's just playing in because we had it, like those small. Imagine your market, but in a market with maybe Catholic things, let's pretend, but they play the folkloristic music. This could be an influence, because keeping the tradition alive. That's what I said to everyone. I don't go out for Halloween, but I want my puppet of sugar, because when I was a kid, I had that in the morning, because that's our tradition. So that's important to keep it. And I
think it's important to keep traditions, but I also think it's important not to go too far in it and make it
like statement.
Yeah, because you can get too militant about it also.
No, of course.
Which again would fire off things, and I mean, those things has been repeating in world history, and it still does, unfortunately.
What is beautiful is to not mix it up, but like for example, like I said, you just go in a meeting and joining a Sami project. Tomorrow I say, okay, I have can play drums or whatever. I'm gonna join, I don't know, some Greek people. There is in the Greek island that I never remember the name. They have these particular dances and folkloristic music. Join them. No, and just do something together, mixing, and it's what creates new tradition for the future as well.
Exactly, and that brings us to one of those things that engage me a lot, because I think it's important to preserve those cultures and make out a little bit about what's what. But then again, I mean, I've been back to what I've been teaching about. I've been teaching about Vikings and Viking music and all of that. And the thing I've learned through my studies of this is that, all the music we have up north, I mean, at least 90% of what we had, it actually comes from the Mideast.
Yeah.
Because we traveled there, we got inspired by what we heard there. It makes sense. We've been through this before, but like we had a hard climate to live in. I mean, we spent all our time keeping warm and dry and get food, while they had a totally different climate, which made it more possible for them to evolve these things.
Yeah.
And then we went there and we heard someone playing a lyre in a musk or whatever, and got inspired and brought that back. That's how the world evolves.
Yeah.
That's why we can sit and talk to each other from different parts of the world on a computer today. Because we've been learning from each other through generations after generations after generations, instead of saying that, no, I won't talk to you because you have a different view on things than me, because that's how that's the opposite of evolving,
Like, no, I don't want to talk to you because I don't know, my culture, I don't want my culture is better because I'm that, you are that. No,
Yeah, and how will your culture evolve if it never ever is
evolve.
open to learn anything new? You
Yeah.
know, you will become the
Our
monkey, you know.
yeah, we will be literally. No, I think that I can't speak as because we had so many cultural really that I don't know which what are my ancestors, to be honest. So I can't talk about. But it's in some part of Italy, if they close up themselves, they would be literally speaking only, for example, German, and never had any type of other influences.
Yeah.
So when country have this view, because I think the word for closing the country completely and the culture is autarky. So when you close yourself, you have this autarkic point of view. That's no, it's us. It's not influence. Nothing. It doesn't reach to evolve. It's like in music. If you play all the time rock and don't allow to listen to pop, R&B, any type of music, how do you evolve? How do you progress? How you do
I
experiment?
would not, yeah, I would not survive as a musician that way. You know, if I wouldn't always explore new territories,
Exactly.
always try to learn something new and
Yeah.
stretch further, you know, I
Yeah.
would just be making the same old stuff all the
Yeah.
time, and I would be bored to death and probably get a job as a teacher or something, you know.
I just even just about thinking about some of the most even contemporary famous writer Wilbur Smith. He wrote a lot about Africa, about Egypt. I don't think he wrote that from out of nowhere. He's been a traveler, or even the famous Kerouac. He wrote about it. This is applied from everyone, from music, writing. And if you read the book of Kerouac, you can read even about what was the Dharma, the Eastern philosophy or point of view, the Mediterranean philosophy, and it's from United States. We're talking about a kid, a teenager in the 50s. So
Yeah.
it all brings about being open. And through a book, you can travel with your mind. And this has been possible because the person wasn't mind closet, was open closet. His mind was open and he traveled. So if I can have this feeling when I'm reading or listening to music or seeing a painting and see those influences, like in Palermo, we have in Sicily a Chinese building. Where did this came from? I don't know. But you go there, you said, wow, it's beautiful. We have a blue Arab Muslim room with the golden decor. People covered literally with white, and someone scratched and see this beautiful blue room. So you have this, and you ask yourself, what happened? And people, it's not that, oh, let's wait, no, now people are opening. And you see many people go there and want to understand why, how it comes here. Because you see that there are generation, maybe the new generation, I think, are that they're open-minded. They're more seeing what is around. I think that they are starting to get a little bit away from their phone and go see more the around and maybe traveling more. Maybe thanks to the lockdown, maybe they started to have more job home, like they can help you to travel. And as well that we can connect easily. We can have friends from all over the world, and having this connection with friends from all over the world, it can be helpful to travel and get more connection, more influences. But this is applied for any field, music, art, like I told, anything, even creating I don't know, a painting a wall, like I said, anything. And this is a remembering, but at the same time is a expressing and experiment and growing. It's all about growing. Because if we stay always like this, you can imagine if it's even in history happened that we expanded. If we stayed always like stopping one point, just with our one culture, you will never see the not new culture, but new expansion, new point of view, and maybe who knows? It's a utopic, a little bit of peace one day. Maybe
that would be nice.
Yeah, but about these two projects, there's something about you as a shell solo that you're working, or you're going right now with this project, and you're like,
No.
of course.
No, it's been I haven't really been able to make so much new music the last few years because first I spent an enormous amount of time focusing on making the Nebala album and the Nebala shows with Jonas. And also I've been touring a lot, both with my own stuff and also with the Vibe Miguela. Last year, fortunately, I managed to get myself to Lithuania and do some shows there and be part of an amazing festival there and meet up with ladies. I really hope to be able to get back there, and we're working on trying to come back there next summer, but we will have to see. But yeah, of course, there's some new Kjell Braaten music coming.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. So then we're gonna, I'm gonna wait. As soon as I see something, okay, it's time for the 9th interview.
Yeah, I'm currently slowly working myself into a new album as Kjell Braaten, which has been in the works for many years now, all since the Blota album was released. Originally, I aimed at releasing it the year after Blota, which is obviously did not happen because I've been so busy with other things.
Yeah, it's okay. But don't worry, Blota still today works as a healing tool. Don't worry. I told you since day one, it still works. First, the last track. First start with the darkness and then with the light. I will never forget.
Yeah, but the single I released in August, the Trøst one, is a very early little sneak peek into what I'm currently working on.
Okay, so people can go there see what could be arrive in the future, the near future.
Yeah. So what I'm doing now is it's not a secret. I've been working on taking some of my skaldic songs and arrange them for more folk kind of style band setting.
Okay.
So it's going to be a lot more folky because of course it's me. I can't make the same album twice, so I will have to make something different. I also have another project that is in the early start. I've just recently been starting to work a bit with it, which will be I won't release that as Kjell Braaten. I will release it as something else, but because it's very different from what I've been doing recently. Those who known me from like mid-90s, they won't be surprised by this stuff.
Me, that I know this Blota will be like, what? That's new.
So yeah,
but already I saw already the other side of you with your Shileto. So
there will be new stuff coming. Which I mean, tomorrow is the last day on tour for this year. I've been more or less continuing the touring since February.
Almost. It's the longest.
Yeah, it's the longest. It's the longest I've had, and it's been an absolute amazing journey. It's been a blast, and I'm so tired.
I can imagine. Just take some rest for now, and when you go back.
Yeah, I will go to stay with my mom for a few days tomorrow because I don't have a place to live anymore. I moved out of the flat this summer and I don't have a place, so I will go to my mom for a few days.
Netflix home sometimes. You have the traveling in your blood, so.
Yeah, and I will probably spend a lot of the winter in Bucharest actually. Yeah, because I have a very special friend in Bucharest that I will stay with for the winter.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, but tell me, give me then an address so I can send you this instrument, some songs of Sicily. So I'll put some other. Put in your mind. I'll put you some other.
Yes. I did pick up quite a bit of inspiration from my journey in Matera earlier this year. And also from Pompeii, of course, you can't go to Pompeii without being inspired.
And then I will let you. Yeah, but because I can send you. I will send you tonight some of these typical.
That would be absolutely amazing.
From like folkloristic, and after more this folk woman singing, folk woman. Yeah. One is more older, one is more, let's say, 20th centuries, but it's a really folklore for us, really, especially, in fact, teenager, it's horrible, it's a horrible woman making folk, but they don't see the beauty in it, the beauty of those folkloristic, maybe songs in the 40s, post the Second World War, those poor people just this woman singing is called Rosa Balistreri. It's for me. I
love those recordings so much.
I will send it to you then. Yeah, so what can I say, Sean? Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure, for the 9th time. And I hope somehow, some way, we have to find a way. We say that for years by now. We have to meet. for years.
Yeah, but yeah, we really need to meet. Either I need to find some jobs in Italy or something. So yeah, if anyone knows anything, please, I would love to come there and do some scalding shows or whatever. Or you would have to maybe be able to get here
somewhere, somehow. Yeah, for sure. It would be a pleasure. And enjoy the time with your mom and with your beloved one, especially during this holiday season. And
yeah, I really look forward to go down to Sweden now.
deserve a little bit of rest. Deserve a little bit of rest now.
Yeah.
It was have a beautiful evening, and as always, a big hug. Shut.
Yeah, big hug.
It's still virtual.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah, of course. Greetings to Benny. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.